Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Geek Life Mike, GStyleMag.com, Backlog Barbarians, Queens Get the Money. And, I'm just here talking my shit. So, um, I'm trying to do these little things every now and then on a topic that I kind of feel like is, talked about. And this topic is about the devices right behind me here, the Xbox Rogue Ally X, and all the chatter about it. And, these are just my thoughts. I feel like this. There's a lot of people who I don't want to necessarily say they're detractors, but they're being unnecessarily negative about that device, and a lot of it is kind of rooted in these weird semantics. Like it's not an Xbox. I mean, we know it's not an Xbox. It's not an Xbox technically, but it's Xbox branded. And the goal of it is to focus on Xbox Play Anywhere. And the problem that I'm having with all the dialogue and the discourse, surrounding the device is that people are acting like they don't know this. And I kind of think, it's disingenuous, it's dishonest, and if you really want to ask me, if you want to kind of take it to kind of a hood level, you hating. And, you really should. It doesn't look good on you. It doesn't look good on anybody. I think a lot of it is rooted in the fact that, maybe possibly I'm not watching anybody's pockets, but usually when I hear things like this, it's usually because, you wanted to get the device and maybe it wasn't in your budget. I'm not knocking anybody, who can't, afford to cop it right now. That's cool. But, what you shouldn't do is, knock anybody who's trying to enjoy themselves that does have it. That's really corny. And, we got to stop that. It's a great device. I have a Steam Deck myself. I did not pony up the $1,000 for the Xbox Rogue Ally X only because I didn't feel like it served me any purpose. So I passed on it. Will I get it in the future? Maybe. But, I just really want to address kind of, the behavioral patterns, of, certain groups. You got the PlayStation guys who are doing everything they can, to downplay the device. And, as a PlayStation guy myself, I don't really get into that. I'm a gamer first. I don't get caught up in console wars. I play games wherever they're at, especially if they're dope. Um, if I can play them on the Rogue Ally X, dope. If I can't, I got my Steam Deck. But for the PlayStation guys that are trying to downplay this device, for the sake of console warring, let me just say to you very clearly and lovingly, shut the fuck up. All right? Shut the fuck up. You sound like assholes. You're going out of your way to be assholes. Um, it's corny. It's not a good look. And you should probably stop. If you're not going to get the device, don't get the device. Cool. You know, at least if you're going to talk about it negatively, at least own the device, man. Other than that, once again, shut the fuck up. This is not exclusive to the PlayStation people, though, because they're not all like that. That's just a weirdo fringe minority that talks about the device like this, and we probably should take anything that they say with a grain of salt. So pay them no attention. To the Xbox Defense Force, that's the group of Xbox gamers that go out of their way to defend the device no matter what. Unafraid. Um, to not be critical, and it's not a good thing. You should be critical of things, especially things you spend $1,000 for. You know, making snarky remarks online. For people who don't have it. Always in defense of things that you don't need to, defend. Pick and choose your battles, and to you guys, especially the console warrior content creators, let me also tell you, shut the fuck up. You guys are just as annoying as the PlayStation guys that you can't stand. It's two groups of annoying people that, just suck all the fun out of everything. If you have the device, enjoy the device. It's dope. There's going to be so many games coming out for it, whether it be Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. You know, People want to say it's not an Xbox, but it is though. And we have to start being real about certain things. No, it's not an Xbox Series X. Xbox never tried to sell it that way. Their claim was if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can play your Xbox Game Pass games there. It's really that simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. We don't need to get into semantics about what it is and what it isn't. That's super corny. And I just want to say the device is dope. If you got it, I love that for you. If you don't, save up a couple bucks, get your bread up, go cop one, and then formulate an opinion that's educated and intelligent and not rooted in stupid console war bullshit. All right? All right. This is Geek Life Mike, G Style Mag, Backlog Barbarian. Shout out to the gang. Queens get the money. You know me. Peace.